because Alex Jones, like a lot of right-wing media personalities, is deeply anti-Semitic. So that's one of the reasons.
You think so? I mean,
Alex Jones,
I don't know.
Global elites guy. Yes, he generally very much feeds into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's a decent point.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Ana Kasparian. Obviously, we've documented her shift to the right over the recent months and years. It's basically been a year or two now since she really started this pivot. And now we're basically at the point where people like Tim Pool reportedly make content like this. Ana Kasparian defends DeSantis going after squatters. We talked about that segment where she was giving credit to Ron DeSantis. But yeah, I mean, this is basically the role that she plays now. She has enough left-wing positions remaining to, I guess, still claim to be a progressive, but really this is the role that she plays. She, gets clipped by people like Tim Pool, and they get to point at her and say, "See, even this lefty agrees with us. Even this lefty agrees with Ron DeSantis." She's basically
Gavin,
the Tulsi Gabbard.
Interrupt you, but I think we have to start an investigation, an independent investigation. I think that there has been some, you hate to cite a Roman Polanski film, but there's been some Chinatown tampering with the water supply around TYT. I think that you have to investigate. Like, this cannot be a coincidence. I just want to say that again. If this is a coincidence, I don't know. Buy a lottery ticket. You're telling me that out of a network that has had how many famous hosts? How many hosts that a regular person could drop the name of? Let's say 8. That includes people like Jimmy, Hassan, John Iadarola, Ana Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, let's see, Dave Rubin. Am I missing anybody big? That's about who the big run of TYT people were off the top of my head, right? That most people would know to this day.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
3 of them. Now on there, why I left the left arc. It all started with the rave dupe, and we all called him out. We all jeered. We all mocked him. We all said, "This is crazy. Ha ha." Michael Brooks used to roast the fuck out of Dave Rubin. Even Joe Rogan. Could you imagine how humiliating this would be? Even Joe Rogan humiliated Dave Rubin with his absolute lack of intellectual ability. If you get spanked by Joe Rogan in a battle of wits, like, there's no coming back from that in my book. Like, I'm sorry, but just to disappear forever, sir. You need to become like a used car salesman or something. You need to stay off the microphone for good. Anyway, then you have Jimmy, and I don't think Jimmy Dore is up for debate. There was a long time where people would be like, "You guys are just mad. You guys are just upset that he tried to end your career," which of course I was sad or angry he tried to end my career, but that wasn't why. I thought that he was leaving the left. I thought he was leaving the left because of everything that came out of his fucking mouth, right? And now that's, I feel like, completely been laid to rest. Now, for, as you said, Gavin, about 2 years, we've been ahead of another curve. Oh, we also called out Jackson Hinkle early, by the way, in case anybody else, just to brush him in. He wasn't TYT affiliated, but that's besides the point. We've got an eye for this shit. Then you look at Ana Kasparian, and we've said, Rick Caruso, she never really came out publicly to support the guy, but she had nothing to say about Cenk, and we'll get to him in a second.
We all know she supported Rick Caruso too.
100% we do, but she didn't. She knew she was at that time a little smarter, a little savvy, and she was like, "It's really going to be bad for our ratings if we both go just so hard in the paint for Rick Caruso." So then she started talking about how much she hated trans people and how she wasn't a birthing person and how homeless people were terrorizing all of LA, and how you couldn't even take your kid to the park anymore, and they were just letting people do crime, and Cenk got really into it, right? So like, what the fuck is going on over there? What's in the water? Is it fluoride? Is there a Batman villain in town? They all claim like LA is the new Gotham City. So I'm interested in hearing people out on their theories, but something's got to explain this.
Yeah, totally. As I was saying, she's kind of like playing the Tulsi Gabbard role right now, just with the online media space. You guys remember after Tulsi left the Democratic Party, she got hired by Fox News, but they kept calling her ex-Democratic congresswoman, former Democrat. So they would have her on there to make right-wing points and affirm what their right-wing audience wanted to hear. But guess what? she's a lefty, right? We're an ideologically diverse platform over at Fox News. Of course, we have on Republicans, but also former Democrats like Tulsi Gabbard to make the exact same points. And that's kind of what Ana Kasparian's doing right now. You know, she's still kind of in that no man's land where she's not ready to straight up come out of the closet as a right winger, but she's saying enough that, you know, it's giving channels like Timcast IRL, you know, clips to make videos like this one and to say the exact same thing that Fox News did with Tulsi Gabbard. See, look, even this, renowned leftist voice is agreeing with us on this subject matter, agreeing with Ron DeSantis of all people, who not even, you know, very long ago, Ana Kasparian was totally against. But let's take a look here because I thought this was pretty interesting, and we're going to watch a bit more of the full clip because I don't want to be accused of taking anything out of context. But as the Emo Dragon says here on Twitter, I'm glad John was being assertive here. Some people are literally handing it to folks like Alex Jones and Candace Owens, people that should know better. This is embarrassing. And of course, they're talking about the Alex Jones Rabbi Shmuley debate. Let's go over here and look at the actual video in question and take a look. Because, yeah, this was pretty funny stuff, guys. And shout out to John Iadarola. Obviously, I don't know much about the behind-the-scenes dynamics at the Young Turks, but I have to imagine
that he brings his own water like you do. He goes to the local co-op and he gets the the reverse osmosis water, and he brings Germex instead of washing his hands, and he doesn't wash any dishes there. And in fact, He's never had a drop of water from the company faucet. I respect you for that, John. It's the only thing that's kept your wits about you. I bet people made fun of you for that. Lord knows I've made fun of Gavin for not drinking the tap water. So you know what? Shout out to John for being a soldier and for not letting the company poison him. He was like, I bet you there's some Kool-Aid being manipulated going on here in the pipe system. I don't trust Cenk. I don't trust a guy like that. I see people fall in like an Agatha Christie novel, right? There's only going to be one, and it's going to be me, damn it. Anyway, congratulations, John.
Yeah, John still seemingly has his head screwed on straight. I'm not like, the number one John Iadarola fan in the world, but he is a perfectly reasonable commentator. He doesn't seem like a raging narcissist or a grifter like his counterparts.
He's the only guy on YouTube that apparently has a good tailor. Can I say that? This guy actually knows how to wear a good suit. Like most dudes that work in DC, they still believe in having fat ties. I'm like, dude, nobody looks good in a fat tie. It's not 1980. Stop playing yourself.
Yeah, let's take a look here. John Iadarola being reasonable and kind of checking Ana Kasparian a little bit. He seems kind of shocked to have to do it, but I'll let you guys weigh in. I'm interested in your opinion on this as well, Zach. So let's take a look at this clip talking about Alex Jones.
Raised back to prominence by Elon Musk taking over Twitter. So that's one of the reasons this is happening. Also, Alex Jones likes taking this as an opportunity, and not just him. Candace Owens pops up in this story as well.
Yes.
To pitch this guy as being some sort of pedophile as a way to smear Jews in general as being pedophiles, because Alex Jones, like a lot of right-wing media personalities, is deeply anti-Semitic. So that's one of the reasons.
You think so? I mean,
Alex Jones.
I don't know.
Global elites guy. Yes, he generally very much feeds into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's a decent point.
And
does he sound so exasperated?
Bro, Anna is the dude. It reminds me so much. It reminds me of, like, we were talking about Joe Rogan, right, and how he's not very bright. It literally reminds me of his level of intentional obtuseness. Like, do you remember when what was that guy? I think his name was his name like Carlos Maza? He was like a Vox writer. Does that ring a bell, guys?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's his name. Okay, anyway, so that dude, whatever, he does neoliberal politics, not my politics, right? But he had big beef with Steven Crowder for obvious reasons, right? And Steven Crowder was selling these shirts that were like, I'm pretty sure they said like Carlos is a fig or something like that. He kept calling him a fig on his show over and over again. Yeah. And Joe Rogan was like, these lefties, they get outraged over everything. They keep saying that he's like slurring the guy, that it's hate speech, but he's clearly saying fig. And every single one of these, he's just saying fig over and over again. But they still still keep getting triggered for some reason. He's not even saying a slur. That's not a slur at all. I could say fig all I want. I ate figs. I think figs are delicious, blah, blah, blah. And then, that level of like intentional dumbness. It's like, I guess he did say all these things about how there was like a new world order and a cabal of elites and people, who are orchestrating the power. And you know what? Come to think of it, whenever he does name a really rich person that he's sus about, if it's not tethered to a big pharma conspiracy and Bill Gates, then it is usually tethered to a Jewish person. That is true. But, Gavin, he can't be anti-Semitic because he did say that we have to stop what's going on in Israel right now. I don't know if you saw that. So that wipes the slate clean.
Yep. And he also did debate Kanye, if you remember. He wasn't willing to go quite as far as Kanye and Nick Fuentes with the I love Hitler rhetoric. But that doesn't give you a pass. That doesn't make you not anti-Semitic just because you're slightly more sophisticated with your rhetoric than Kanye West and Nick Fuentes, who are basically just the definition of Nazis. They're just outright Nazis. To be anti-Semitic, you don't have to literally identify as a Nazi. Like it's like saying, oh, I'm not racist. I'm not literally a KKK member. I may treat black people like shit, but I'm not literally a KKK member, so I'm not racist. In the same way, Alex Jones has been trafficking in anti-Semitic talking points, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories for at least the past decade or so, if not his entire career. And this has been well documented, not just on channels like Secular Talk. Kyle's done a bunch of videos going over Alex Jones's anti-Semitism over the years, but also TYT itself. 6 years ago, Alex Jones's anti-Semitic meltdown. 1 year ago, Alex Jones goes anti-Semitic in attack on Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. Those are just the first two that come up, but I know for a fact that the Young Turks have made quite a few videos calling out Alex Jones's insanely anti-Semitic conspiratorial sort of rhetoric and language and all that kind of stuff.
Remember back in the day, you told me that TYT and Alex Jones used to be more explicit enemies too. They used to be in competition with each other on YouTube. So just so funny to watch her pivot happen in real time. You can listen to how she would describe a guy like Ben Shapiro in 2016 to how she would describe a guy like Ben Shapiro now. And we're going to talk about how that's happening a lot. And I joke about how it's something in the water. Really what it is it's the financial incentive to be on either side of the ball right now. We're going to talk about that a lot with Matt Taibbi and his really revealing answer when asked about, the amount of attention he pays to Democrats, right now.
Yep, absolutely. So let's just listen to this one more time in case anyone is just now trickling in. But yeah, pretty funny to see John Iadarola. He really almost sounds like a mom or something, like just explaining a concept that really should not need to be explained. This was so funny.
Pitch this guy as being some sort of pedophile as a way to smear Jews in general as being pedophiles, because Alex Jones, like a lot of right-wing media personalities, is deeply anti-Semitic. So that's one of the reasons.
You think so? I mean,
Alex Jones, the
I don't
global elites guy. Yes, he generally very much feeds into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's a decent point.
She realizes she's not at home on TYT anymore.
Suddenly,
yep.
John Iadarola hasn't flipped the script yet, and I think what happened is she would have argued with him until she realized that Cenk also hates Alex Jones, so she would have had no ally if she continued to defend the guy, right? And for the reason that I was about to get into, which is that they've all made shitloads of content condemning Alex Jones. It would look blatantly hypocritical, even more so than their like pivot to the right, which I think has been just devastating to the network.